video platform for training that you hold me accountable to will be done this week. So I remember, we met upstairs, that's right. So, in the morning structure week, so how's everybody? All right, cool. So we got two real estate licenses, and then Nick, you're gonna get yours, right? All right, so my name's Jeremy Bowers. I am not from Philly, I'm from Punxsutawney. Anybody in this room from Punxsutawney? Good. I'm gonna be from Punxsutawney, so that's good news. How long do we have today? 12:50. All right, cool. All right, so what do you guys want to get out of today? Basically my background, I'll give it to you. You guys tell me what you want to get out of this. Is I started real estate investing in 2003. I'm 41 years old. I built a nice business up. Then I went from real estate. Raise your hand if you have any interest in real estate investing. Okay. Then I built a real estate team. I sold that team in 2011. Become a real estate salesperson. Okay, so I sold that business. Does anybody want to get into leadership? Anybody want to own a company? Okay, so 11 to 2017 company in Philadelphia. Anybody here at TCS? It's a large company. I was directing last one. We built that. Since then, I miss people and residential. Keller Williams, raise your hand if you've heard of Keller Williams. All right, so I'm the CEO, team leader of Keller Williams Philly. It's the largest real estate brokerage in the suburbs of Philly and South Jersey. We're opening up a second office at 24th and Walnut on the water right there, 5,000 square feet in the next 2 weeks. Still a real estate investment business. Started a real estate fund. You guys know what a real estate fund is? All right, so we've got a lot to share to you. So you guys can see I've been around the real estate game for a while. Is it fair? All right, so that's my background. Enough about me. I will tell you this. What questions do you have today? I'm going to write them down. Do you have a pen? And I want to make sure you get an answer. I do not want to be another person up here speaking to you guys and not connecting with you in a sense of what you want to get out today. I want you guys to get one today, and I hope you guys did last year. You followed up on certain things to see if I can impact. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Is that fair?
Yes.
All right, the pizza's not working good. Now, where's the pizza from? Is it good?
Yeah, it's really good.
Good? I literally came here today, and there's one thing I've been thinking about since I came here. Going to Santucci's. You guys ever go to Santucci's? So I'm literally thinking about afterwards. That's looking pretty good. All right, so what do you guys want to get out today?
How you got started?
All right, how I got started. Next one.
Why you went back into residential and specifically residential?
Yeah. Cool. What else?
Not only what allows you to
Thanks for coming back.
Yeah.
I didn't scare you away. Back. Recognize some of you guys from last time. What else? What are we on? We on Facebook and what else?
YouTube. I have YouTube.
YouTube. What do you
Facebook.
Facebook? You're on YouTube?
Mm-hmm.
All right, cool. Did any of you guys even listen? Do you guys even watch Facebook? Anybody in this group? No. The new Instagram. But Instagram to me is a little bit more harder, but to get it look pretty comments. So I got 22,000 like that, but in the morning I get so posts that I literally don't want to do. Right now, I have pressure off of me, and one of my tips I'm going to give you guys today is about leverage. I need someone who knows how to create YouTube. I'll create the content, but you distribute it on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, editing of videos, videographer. Someone that eventually wants to be the chief marketing officer of the company, right? But where do you have to start? You're going to start at the bottom. So one of the questions you guys asked is, how do I get started? And I'm going to give you an example. Here's the best tip I can give you on that. Get in early and build your, talk about that in a little bit, question. I got 3 more questions I can do before the end of the day. What else? How about the Jaguars guy there?
What made you start in real estate versus any other?
Okay. Why real estate?
Yeah.
Yep. Originally went to pharmacy school at Pitt and didn't like that, so I'll tell you how. Yep.
Just a little bit of detail on how you evaluate a good deal.
Evaluate a good deal. Yep. All right, got two more.
Are we preparing for a financial downturn in the markets?
Good, it's already shifting. Good pick up.
Would you be able to also talk about what Philly's trying to do in terms of gentrification?
Yep.
And housing redevelopment?
Yeah. One more.
Jobs or internships you guys offer?
Yep. All right, you guys got a pen and paper? Good news is all the questions you asked, I have the answers for, all right? And most of them already. You guys ready? All right, experience. Okay. Don't look for a job. Does that sound crazy? Why? Why would I say that?
The job comes to you.
Okay. No, but I like it.
Your potential income could be how
So you can what? Create your own business. That's a good answer. Yes, that's one. What's another one? Anybody? No one's in pharmacy. All right. So I went to Pitt Pharmacy because that's what my father did. I got there. I looked around. I did not fit in. Why? Smarter than I was. Okay. Parts. I had common sense. Smart. You give me a situation, or I'll make the situation better. Does that make sense? But I'm not as good in the books. I'm a big reader. I read a ton. I regret not reading more as a kid, more in college. But what I learned was from that is I should have looked and created an experience for a job. I'll give you an example. Let's go with Nick. Nick had a paid job for the summer. Nick was going to work at Plymouth Country Club from Plymouth Meeting. I live in Bluebell, okay? Nick's dad connected us, and I said, Nick, I will teach you so much value for free over 3 months if you work with me. You show up at my garage in Prospect. You show up at the office in Prospect. You show up to meetings with me. You try to keep up with me in a day, and you'll get exhausted. Fair?
Yeah.
Double your age, right? So what I got him to do is I got him to create an experience that he was allowed to then create what? A job. So here's what I would say today. When you're trying to figure out what you want, find a solution for someone that has an issue. I tried to give you guys a golden nugget at the beginning. Very, very wealthy people become wealthy because they come up with what? Solutions. A job is not a solution. Does that make sense? It's a temporary. I would be trying while I'm in college right now, talk to successful people. You're at the right college. Find people that need help on issues and create an opportunity. Do you guys realize we're the #1 college in the United States of America for Philadelphia for people in real estate? Where did they go to college? The most successful people that I know in the brokerage game, where did they go? Not Drexel. Not UPenn. Where'd they go? If you get it right, I'll give you a quarter. I might bring a t-shirt to give out, huh?
Oh, man.
Temple, right? Temple was the #1 college I've seen success. Why is that? Why am I so, I didn't even go to Temple, I went to Penn State, went to Pitt, and went to Penn State. Why do I think so many successful people in real estate come out of Temple? What do you guys think? Because you guys can create the experience. You're in an area right now that has gold underneath you. The problem is you don't realize there's gold. What's the gold? All those houses around us that are boarded up or that are renovated, some of those people need to sell their houses. Many, many real estate agents or many, many people I know in college got in the rental business while you're in college. You're never too young to get into real estate. So #1, my tip #1, you guys write it down? Experience. Find a person like me, find a person on the street that's successful that needs help with something. Create an opportunity. I'll give you an example. That chief marketing officer that I'm hiring, did I tell you it's a chief marketing officer? What did I tell you? What was the role? Social media, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, marketing, right? But what is that role really going to be? Solution for me. Once that person gets in, they can create enough value that hopefully someday they can be what? The chief marketing officer. Most people want to hire within. I want you guys to understand that in college. I wish I knew that in college that I know now. If you can get in college with someone, when you get out, Nick doesn't need to look anywhere. Nick's set up. Why? Because he put the hard sweat in. When it was 90 degrees or 100 degrees and we had some construction going on in one office and we wanted to work at home, where do we work?
Garage.
Garage. And what do we do all day?
Call.
What do we do?
Call.
Make
Prospect.
phone calls, right? How many times do we get rejected?
A lot.
A lot. Right? But what did we get? We got success out. We bought a lot of houses and we started a brokerage, right? So once again, he created it. I had to ask him to come every day. I knew he was going to do what? So you guys can go on an internet site and post, look for a job, or you can create a job. Does that make sense? Yes, no? Come on, give me some energy up here. I feel like I'm dying. Do I need to give you guys Red Bull?
Yes.
Get all 21. Great. All right, so half the crowd. All right. Nick, I'll have to bring beer next time. All right, number 2. You ready for some books? Who likes to read books? Raise your hand. Raise your hand if you're like me and you read one book in high school. All right, there you go. There's the honest people. My book was called Hatchet. I have no idea why I read the book. Very, very weird. But here's the good news. When you only read one book, you can remember it, right? Bad news is you become a horrible writer. So, you ready for books that you guys should be reading? Yes?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Rich Dad, Poor Dad. My daughter's 9 years old, just read the book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad for Teens. She's getting mentored by a girl that makes $70,000 a year at the age of 16. 49. Here's what I learned. Wealthy people, balanced people in life. It's called subconscious mind, unconscious mind. Subconscious mind is used to doing the same thing, right? Keep in the same book over and over again, it'll be enriched. What it talks about is raise your hand if you guys go to school and you realize there's certain things that you're better at. Best subject is math. Get really good at one. Raise your hand if you're an athlete. Not that many athletes. Raise your hand. You got an athlete? You got a ping pong? Raise your hand. How many athletes you got? Did you guys ever notice that athletes, they normally event? What? You're a stud or studette in 3 sports. Why'd you only play 1?
You're really good at it.
Huh?
You're the best at it.
Because you're getting better at it. Right now, I quit all sports except tennis. What happened at 41? I quit golf. I live at a golf course. Why don't I golf anymore? Huh?
You realize what you like and what you're good at.
Yeah, you only can get good at one thing, get really, really good. So what happened is amateur tennis, we became top 4 in the country, top 2 in the country, top 6. And I just smoked a couple kids right out of college, which is pretty cool for my age, right? They were not too happy when I told them I was almost double their age. And they just came out of college for tennis. But that felt good for me. What I did was I quit playing all sports and just focused on one thing. Does that make sense? Shift. You mentioned something about the market shifting.
Yep.
That's another book. Write that book down. You should be reading that right now. The real estate market's shifting. You won't see it, but every cycle or every business shifts before you can see it. Does that make sense? It shifts. It takes 2 years for a downturn. We're studying the numbers right now.
You answered my question.
Yep. Next one, compound effect. Who's got some bad habits in the room? Rest of you liars that had your hands down, put them back up. Come on. Right? Everybody's got a bad habit, right? Compound effect will tell you it takes you 60 days to get a good habit. Focus on your habits. Compound effect will fix all the habits in your life that you want. Okay? All right, that's tip number 2. Tip number 3, they create value for solutions. I think we talked about that, didn't we? Yes? No? Am I talking to myself? Yes?
Yeah.
What is up with you guys' energy today? What happened? What was the class before it? What did you have before this? Oh, English, that's why. What else?
A shower.
Huh?
Shower.
Shower? You just woke up?
Not
You
woke
went out
up.
last night? Huh?
I had class early. I had to
Had class early.
shower up before the.
Who woke up late? Who missed the class today? All right. I don't know if you're being honest or not. All right. Number 3, we just talked about. Number 4, they do things others won't do. Please explain that to me.
They're ready to take risks that other people aren't comfortable with.
Okay. Give me one right now, you guys sitting in your seat. How many people are there? 30, 40 people? Give me one thing that you could do to take a risk that could change your college career.
Sit in your garage with you.
Huh?
Sit in your garage with you and make phone calls.
There you go. Nick, what do you get paid this month if you find me a house?
Five grand.
How much?
5 grand.
5,000 if you find me one house. Right? Is that something that you'd have to do? Nick, do you like going out? You like hanging out with people?
Oh yeah.
Right? But sometimes what do you have to do?
Stay in, call, work.
Say about 15 hours a week he makes phone calls, he prospects. He has to do things that other people won't do. Give me another example you can do in college. Who likes a door knock? Nobody does. If you do, you're weird. You have investing related. I remember you have investor experience, right? Your family, right? How's that going? Since the last time I saw you, you've been door knocking? Why not? Huh?
We just don't do it.
You don't like talking to strangers?
I don't mind talking to strangers.
I know most people don't, I'm just teasing, right? But think about it, they don't like doing it, right? But you guys right here, you could literally be making 5, 10, 15, 20,000, 100,000, depending what you want to do, if you door knocked your neighborhoods around here. Do you need a real estate license to door knock?
No.
No. So why aren't you guys door knocking? Who has student loans? Who's going to pay your student loans? All right? Why is student loans the only thing you can't get rid of when you go bankrupt? Because they're backed by who? Government doesn't want to go bankrupt, right? They're too far in debt. One of the quickest, what's that?
There's no assets to seize.
Yep, there you go. So one of the quickest things you guys could do is you could build a real estate business quickly. And I'm going to go over some ways you can do that. Would that help you? You guys want to figure out some ways that get rid of these student loans? All right, last tip. Find out what the typical day is in a profession. All right, we're going to talk about that. So who's ready to answer those questions? Question number 1, how to get started. Number 2, what's residential? Why residential? 3, role as a CEO. 4, why real estate? 5, elevator. 6, prepare for the shift. 7, Philly. 8, jobs. All right. You guys ready?
Yeah.
Pen, paper, what do you guys use? Phones now? Phones? All right, cool. Me too. A little bit of mix of both. All right. So, how did I get into residential real estate? All right, so who wants to be a real estate agent? Raise your hand. All right, 6 of you crazy people. All right, so how do you get in real estate? You need to take your real estate tests. I think it's 75 hours now. You just took it, right? 75? 60 still? All right, so they're thinking about changing it, or they're going to change it, something like that. So 3 weekends, nights, or during the day? Which way did you take it?
I took it online.
Online. How was that?
Kind of hard actually.
Yeah, it's the
I
hard.
would have preferred it to do it in the classroom.
Has the highest fail rate online. I've never passed a class. I've never finished a class online in real estate. We'll do $800 million in business here. I've never passed a class online. Why? I can never finish it. Brutal. People, interaction, a good teacher, a person will help you through it. How did you take yours?
I took it at like Philadelphia real estate classes.
Okay.
Up,
Night, weekends, or?
I took it like during the day. It was like 3 days a week from like 8 till 3.
There you go. My favorite way is on the weekend, just get it over with. All right, here's the schools. Temple. You guys know where Temple's real estate school is? Get a real estate license? Center City. Was it 15th and Chestnut, something like that? Holy, if that fits your schedule, real estate, there's 3 of them.
They offer it as a domain curriculum here too, for
They-
free.
Oh, they do?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I'm educating both right now.
Wow.
3501 and 3502.
For the whole semester?
Yeah. It's a 15-week course for each class.
That's awesome. So the whole semester takes you through.
Yeah.
So if you want to get quicker, then just go to the real estate school you've done on the weekend. That's good enough. All right. What other questions do you have about that? How to get your license? Good? How to get my license? Do I do commercial or residential? You asked the question.
Yes, why did you get back into residential and what specific kind of development?
Who's interested in commercial real estate? Okay. You guys want the big money, don't you? Huh? So there's bigger money in commercial real estate. Everything in life has a plus, has a what? What's the minus?
Risk.
Risk? What else? Huh?
I said way more risk.
Way more risk, what else?
More to manage. It's definitely hard to get your foot through.
Harder. It's a club. Like it's, you know, it's very tight niche. So you're gonna have to work under someone like me or someone else for years. You're gonna starve. You're gonna make a couple bucks, but if you can hit it, you're gonna hit big. Where residential real estate, if you have a heart rate, you can talk and walk, you get a real estate license, right? Plus side it is, there's a lot of people that don't know what to do. The downside is everybody can become a residential real estate agent. Is that fair? Right? So you can still differentiate yourself. Residential real estate's easier to get into and easier to make money quick. Okay? How much money can you make? Is that fair? Anybody like to know the money? Or are you guys doing this for free? Everybody running nonprofits here. Speaking of nonprofits, who wants to run a nonprofit someday? Good. The first thing you can do in life is take care of yourself, make a lot, have a balanced life, then do what?
Give it back.
Give back. Don't take any advice or education from anybody who has not done it or not taught it before, because most likely they don't know what they're talking about. Well, the best way you can give back in life is help, but a big nonprofit is how much impact you make. Does that make sense? Something I've learned over the years. How much money can you make? New agent, 30 to 60,000 bucks. 80,000 if you're a rock star. Up to about 150 if you're a really killer rock star. So the answer is 30 to 150 your first year.
How much do you make on average flipping a house?
Flipping?
Yeah.
All right. I'll park that. I'm gonna come right back. If I don't, remind me, beep the horn, and I'll grab it. All right. All right. So income-wise, residential real estate, you're gonna make 30 to 150 your first year, depending on you doing what. One thing. That's all that matters. Huh? Who you know, and the second part is how much you willing to cold call. That's all it comes down. Shows, they're all crap. They mean nothing. I won the first show, flipped that house. You guys ever see that? Back when it was, before it was even created, I never realized how popular it's going to become. And they don't pay very well. You do $3,000 an episode, so I didn't do it. I wanted to focus on my business. Should have done it because I could have used it for marketing, but you make a lot of mistakes in life and you learn. After your first year, you can make anywhere from 30 to people making $1 million, $1.5 million a year. One guy that I know, he went to Temple. He's 4 or 5 years in the business. He's probably netting $1 million right now. I have some other guys that went to Temple, girls went to Temple. They got into rentals right away. They were making about $50,000 right out of college. Now they're making between $200,000 to $500,000. So that's residential real estate. Commercial real estate, you're gonna make less at the beginning. You can make more at the end. You're making anywhere between 150 to a couple $1 million. It just depends on how much you sell. Does that make sense? All straight commission. All depends on what you do. Coming back to that park spot, which was flips. Depends on the flip. I got a couple going right now. I'll make anywhere between 50 to 200,000 on each one. So it just depends on the house.
Are you looking just for Philadelphia specifically?
Yeah, I mean, Montgomery County is really where I live. I like Montgomery County and Philadelphia County. Buying lots in Grays Ferry with a real estate fund. Real estate wise, I'm buying Brewerytown, South Philly, Grays Ferry, and then Montgomery County. We're from Conshohocken out to Lansdale, Bluebell, in that area where I live.
What do you like to buy when you see houses go for sale or buildings go for sale, and what do you like to do with them?
So number one thing is, I didn't mention Temple just because I don't honestly know Temple that well. And I have people in the office that sell more Temple real estate than anybody in the city in a residential perspective. One guy, Sean Doyle, Steve Stafford. There's a lot of them that are in the office that sell a lot. They know this market, they know it well. So tip number one, I would say to you is, what was your question again?
Oh, I was saying, what type of property do you like to buy usually, and then what do you like to do with it subsequently?
You guys ready? Number one, when you're getting into real estate investing, here's tip number one. Identify an area. Gotta identify an area. Number one mistake I've made over the years. Now, how do you identify an area? Honestly, guys like my buddy Gary Jonas, who built a lot of these big buildings here, and other guys I know, a lot of times, it's just luck. Two, a lot of times Temple had no dorms, right? There was not no dorms, but not as many dorms as you guys are seeing now, right? So they built, 10, 15 years ago. So identifying an area. Now, some's luck, some's identifying it, and they're looking at job opportunities, and they're looking at student growth. Student real estate investing and everything else is two different things. Most people you guys talk to, if you have a landlord that owns a lot of student rentals, they don't play any other game. Does that make sense? Like Govberg, you ever hear of them? They play in the rental business of college students. Why? Because they're really good at it. They don't play with everything else, right? At least that I know of, right? So you got to identify an area, and then number two, you identify what a profit works for you. Most people are looking for like a 6 to 8% return on their money right now. We used to be able to get 10 to 15%. It's getting very hard. Philadelphia is getting flooded right now from New York. New York kills everything. Anybody from New York? Good. A Giants fan or
I'm a Jaguar fan.
Jaguars? I didn't become a Jaguars fan.
It's a long story.
Long story. We don't have enough time. So, New York, China, Israel are real heavy, and India, really heavy money coming in investing wise right now.
Are they doing a lot of residential investment, or is that mainly just commercial investment?
They're doing both. When you say commercial, some people think commercial is commercial buildings, and some people think residential is apartment buildings. Apartment building is commercial, but there's residential units. So most of those guys are doing both. TCS Investments, the majority of our money was coming from Israel.
Are they coming as individual investors or as a company?
Both. I deal with more guys and girls that are individuals. The big companies, they're focusing on big buildings. We'll do developments, but that's more like individuals have a company behind them.
You were, for example, like you were like just roll under us or whatever, and your buddies are developing like 10, 15 years prior to right now. But there's still a lot of development going on. When do you know it's too late to keep developing or even stuff?
Nothing's ever too late if you pay well. Huh? You pay the right price. Your parents are in the Dunkin' Donut business, right?
We were
Huh?
in that.
You were in it, right? Same thing in that business, in the retail business, right? Restaurant. As long as you pay the right price, you can handle downturns. That makes sense? But if you go into a business right now and pay too much and the market turns, what happens to it?
One question coming off that, how do you know when to get into the market before it starts like moving? Like this is the area, I guess.
Some's luck. Two's finding an expert like me or someone else who's been through a downturn and ask us our advice because we've seen it. And third is literally be on the streets and find out what people are doing, like other investors going off that. I look at trends on Trend MLS, and I look at stats. I got hit pretty hard last time, 2006 when the market shifted. It was a 2-year shift. One house I lost $250,000 on. What I learned was it took 2 years to shift. So now what I'm doing is focusing that same thing. We're at that 2-year shift right now. And that's just from people like me who've done it a while and are studying Trend MLS statistics. Noah Ostroff, my one business partner, really the started kid in Philly, he owns hundreds and hundreds of houses. Him and I look at the stats and we just kind of follow it. But some's got, I'll give you an example. I just bought a house in Brewery Town. Anybody know Brewery Town? I paid 70 grand. I put 100 into it. It's 170. I honestly thought I was going to get 240. It's worth 300. No idea. That was just luck. Bought it in May. It's up $60,000. Bought a house 1725 Ellsworth. Thought it was worth 450. Right now, I just got appraised at 575. So, but I normally buy picture, center city to circle. All the city does, it expands like this. That's all it does. There's nothing magical. You guys are a Temple, right? Why aren't you living in, I don't know, unless you're living with your parents, you're not living in Bucks County, fair? You live somewhere close. Everybody raise your hand if you live within walking distance to the campus. Okay. Raise your hand if you don't. Watch this. Point proven, right? Majority will, right? So the majority will buy close to vicinity. So if I'm buying real estate investing, whatever's hot, I'm looking at the next market or that market. Does that make sense? All right, what are questions?
Where did you buy Brewery Town?
Huh?
Where did you buy?
Corley Street, where you said you couldn't buy because it was too far north, I bought. You went to that house, right? Almost fell through. You climbed up the.
Is it that one? No, it's not that one. That was a
Which one did I
different
almost
one.
fall through the steps? I climbed
Oh
up the
yeah,
other
yeah.
one.
That was on. I don't remember. It was.
You went into the house.
It was
that
like
had
29.
Cockroaches, right? That was in
Yeah,
Charlotte.
yeah,
Good having a guy. How tall are you? 6'3", 6'4"?
yeah.
He was able to get up over the fence and get in the house on Sharswood. What was your question? I got lost.
Just where you bought Brewery Town. That's where I live. I was just curious.
There I bought some lots on 1200 block of Newkirk. Should have bought more there, but it's moved. Past Cecil B is still doing fine. A lot of guys are buying in Strawberry Mansion right now.
Would you or have you ever pulled out your equity out of your home before a downturn or something?
I've done that, but I just bought more real estate. I took 130,000 out. 130,000. Talking about not sleeping. I forget how old I was. Early 20s, maybe 23. I took a $130,000 line of credit out of a house. I used 128, and I turned it into about 450. So it was a good investment, right? I was nervous, but what I did was I reinvested that money. I don't pull money out and spend. So any of my real estate investments, I don't spend any of the money. That makes sense? So the profit, I've learned how to live off Keller Williams. I've learned off my other jobs how to live off that. All my real estate investing is just like investing in a 401k. Don't touch it. You can, the next thing you know, you're paying 33, 40% taxes, and next thing you're getting hurt, right? So.
Do you own any rental properties or do you focus on flips?
You want me to admit mistakes and to tell you the truth?
Yes.
So, I flipped way too many properties. I have rental properties. I normally have around 10 or 12 rental properties. My goal is to do 100. I bought 5 this year, 10 last year, somewhere in that range. So my goal is to get to 100, and then from there, I'll be part of a 300-person portfolio. Here's what I have learned. Everything I do now is all horizontal income. All the different, I have 7 different horizontal income streams or companies I invested in, that when I retire, I have income coming in if I'm not working. So I can tell you guys anything today. You can do 2 things in life. You can work for vertical income, or you can work for horizontal income. What's the difference? Wish someone told me early on.
One's passive, one's always going to be there, each month, coming in, check for check. And the other one, it's unpredictable, it's risky. You might lose your job.
Horizontal was more diversified.
Okay? So when do you become free in life? Huh? What is it? When? No.
When you have enough money.
Nope.
When you're making money without doing anything.
Yeah. Do that? When you're making money and not doing anything. You picked up on that over the summer, right?
Mhm.
So the one bag I have right there, it's a group of guys, there's 150 across the country. Our goal is health, wealth, happiness, and giving back. And our goal of freedom is when you don't have to work in your rental, your businesses, they all pay, you don't have to show up. When you don't have to trade time for money, you're free. Does that make sense? I'm not there yet. I'm trying to get there.
This isn't a market that seems more messy than what you want to do. Like, what are your opinions on what Buddington, such as like Kensington, as a long-term play?
So it's interesting. Here's what I've learned. You guys are here, Alan Dom, he owns 1,000 apartments, right? Alan just focused along Rittenhouse. Every guy or girl has an area. I wouldn't say one area is better than another. They'll all do well in a different fashion. I just highly recommend picking an area that you're comfortable with and crushing it. That make sense? Just focus, man, on one thing. Don't be like me and try to make it more complicated and buy in different regions when you should be buying one. Now I'm doing that, and it makes a lot more sense.
When you're buying or developing, do you like to have any I'm gonna say, do you pattern your buying based on either public transit or parking for people?
Yes,
who are living
100%.
there?
That's one of the key factors.
Which one do you like to?
I
go
like
to?
transportation.
Okay.
100%. Even in the burbs, I live in Bluebell, I take the train. It's the only reason why I can do my job. Up to Doylestown. If you look at train track areas, they always do much, much better. What other questions? So how do I get started? We talked about that, right?
In the same token, public amenities. Do you like to look at like public amenities the city already has to offer? Because there's certainly many downturns that people like would say, oh, the trash collection's not as good, the school system's not as good. Do you like to look at areas that have like public parks?
Absolutely.
museums,
Parks
like,
do
for
well
example?
because they have a place to hang out, right? If you look at parks in Point Breeze, they're doing better than other parks aren't. They're getting cleaned up, so the parks have a factor in that. Paul Levy, you guys know Paul? Paul runs. If you ever see a person in a turquoise outfit downtown and wear that goofy hat, I'm talking about the captain's hat, that's all funded. If you have a business in Center City, you have to pay a tax because the city of Philadelphia doesn't understand how to clean up trash. We all know that, right? They can't manage money. That being said, you pay a tax, they clean up all Center City. He's big on parks and transportation. Philadelphia is rated one of the best transportation cities in the United States, top 5. And the parks too. I forget how many parks they have.
Largest in the country.
Huh?
For the
Largest?
size of our city, I think the many as many has been good.
I wouldn't be surprised. What are questions?
You said that, the transportation system is good, but I was reading the 2017 financial report, they're actually increasing the budget for transportation. So, I was just wondering, like, is that still the trend, or is it?
Well, one of the reasons why they're maybe having that issue is we blow through so much money with SEPTA. You guys understand SEPTA is a nonprofit. You guys understand that? So it just could be a budget thing. Al Dom is the head, he's the person behind Philly right now, councilman. He's trying to clean up our money mess. So it might be because of that. You said they're decreasing the budget on transportation? It could be. Oh, they spent $30 or $50 million and they can't get a key card to work. Right? You and I'd be fired for that, right? But they can't figure it out, honestly. I have this, I take this, I swipe it, they literally have to have people sitting at the swiper area, right? You guys notice that? I think they have more workers than they ever have. They have a swiper thing. And then you get on the train and there's still people. The whole purpose of it is to swipe it, you know, to use people. So, what else? All right, so we said, how do I get started? Why residential? New rules as a CEO. All right, when you start companies, no one knows who the CEO is going to be. You have to earn it. Is that fair? So like if you work for a big corporation, eventually they know who a CEO is going to be. A person like me, I just had to work my way through it. Sales, investing, running good businesses with people, knowing how to return profits, right? Understanding to see big pictures, be a visionary. Also be an integrator, be able to integrate it. You guys want one last quick book? It's called Traction. Traction is a very good book how to lay out a business. Very complicated. You have to read it multiple times. You might be smarter than me and read it the first time. But it's a very, very good book. You got to create that position, that availability. Chief Marketing Officer. Do I have one right now? But what's going to happen? Someone's going to create that position, and they're going to build their way off and be a Chief Marketing Officer. Elevate. Why? What does that say? Elevate. No idea. Anybody know what that is? Huh? Evaluate a deal. Who asked that question?
Oh, that was me.
All right. So what was it? So how does?
Just, I mean, there's a million different things, but, you know, when you, let's just say top 3 things you look at when you're looking at the deal and you say, this looks good, this is where I'm
Yep.
focused.
So it depends on the investor. I am not the pioneer. I'm the second guy.
Okay.
If we're throwing a party, throwing a function, getting people there, I'll be the first to get everybody there. But I'm not the first person to create something totally new. I just like to use other people's stuff. Keller Williams is a franchise, got a business model. I'm not the guy that's going to start a brand new franchise out of nothing, build all the systems. I'll take them, I'll make them better. So to answer your question, I like to buy an area that's already changing.
Okay.
So that's tip number 1. Tip number 2 is the return on your investment, what you think's good. Right now on flips, 20 to 30% of your money's good. Okay. it's dwindling. I like to buy 30, 35. Why is that? The market turns 15%, I want to be able to get out of the deal. And number 3 is I want to determine how much money I got to put in the deal. So raise your hand if you got 100 grand in the bank right now. Oh, one person. Anybody else? Okay, so that's normal, right? You don't have that many people that have that kind of money in the bank, okay? Now, what happens is you have to use other people's money. So that's what I would look at. I look at a deal, how much money do I have to put out? So Nick knows this, when I buy deals, sometimes I have to call people and look for money, right?
Mhm.
So I have to find other people's money. One way is to find people that have IRAs. So if you guys know anybody that's a public official, teachers, people who do okay or well income, they're normally very good savers. They will have a lot of money stocked away that they can invest in, and they normally rely on a stockbroker. Stockbroker's normally going to give them 0 to 6% on their money, maybe 7, 8%. In real estate, you borrow their money and give them 10 to 12%. Is that the answer?
Yeah.
What any areas you're liking right now?
In the city,
Yeah.
I like where it's at.
Yeah.
It's a good bit.
Yeah.
But I, this area a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you go into a house, what do you look at the violations? Like where do you look on for public records
So
on the house, and how do you leverage that information?
So the challenge is when you're not a realtor, you don't have all the information, you're just relying on Zillow and public records. So I'd highly recommend, like, if you guys had knee surgery, would you go to a nose doctor? Why not? Huh?
They don't know anything about it.
Right. So what I would say is I would find someone who has access to all the information and evaluate it that way. So I'd find, number 1, a realtor that is able to get to the MLS and find out all the comps, all the listings, all the solds. The Zillow's going to be off. Okay, that's number 1. And number 2, what was your question again?
How do you leverage that information?
So I'd find who has the right information. So which is houses that are selling in a neighborhood, houses that are just like that house that are crappy that you're probably buying, right? And then lastly, I would evaluate how much money you're going to put in, what's your return, right? So a lot of times people they don't look at how much profit, they look at how much money they're going to put out. Like if I can make $30,000 and I'll put that much money out, another one I'm going to put out 3 times the money and make 70, which one's a better investment? So that market shifts, markets change, right? That makes sense? Does that help you? Are you buying real estate right now? Okay. So number 1, find a realtor up front.
Me.
And 2 is,
Yeah.
find money. Do you have money? Okay. And then number 3 is look on streets that already have renovated houses. And you have to have a good GC to determine what it's going to, how much it's going to cost. And some are going to rip you off. I got ripped off for $35,000 shop. Bunch chump change. I'm really ticked. Guy filed Chapter 7 on me. So, but you gotta be raw with people. You gotta tell people the truth. I don't know what you guys is. I start listening to people and tell me when they make mistakes and when they do things well, compared to Facebook and Instagram, where everybody acts like they're perfect, their lives are great, all that stuff, right? So, all right. Any other questions?
What about Philadelphia housing development plan?
I don't know that much about the Philadelphia housing plan. I am not the right person to ask that. They're better off a public official, something like that about that. So we're going to wrap it up here. How was the value? What would you guys think today?
Okay.
Scale of 1 to 10. You can
10.
tell me what you think. All right. Tell me afterwards if you think there's some things I can do better to help you guys impact you. Lastly, this. If you guys want to get involved in internships, you want to get involved in education, I help some people move forward, talk, I help some people connect. Some people are actually working with their office now and working in other fields. If you guys have interest in jobs or talking to other people, come up afterwards and I'll connect you. Cool? All right, have a good week, guys.
Right.